already know what time it is, so we're going to go ahead and get it started. I want to welcome back to the show, brother of the family, Mr. Corey Goins. Welcome back to the show, Corey. How you doing, brother? How you feeling this morning? Well, it's
Freeze.
morning in the U.S. It's evening over here in Saudi Arabia. How you doing, brother?
Man, amazing, man. Every time I speak to you, it's like talking to a gun. So I put my hands up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Breon. Hey, don't hurt me, Breon. Breon got Breon is the machine gun of knowledge. He is the machine gun of taxes and money talk. So I always say freeze. And when you talk to Breon Mitchell, you better put your hands up, brother. Breon doing amazing. How's everybody doing? Tax talk every day. Hope everybody's doing amazing. Shout out to everybody in the back, everybody in the front, everybody on the side. Shout out to God for giving us favor for the day, and let me rise another day. I appreciate you, Breon, for having me again. Always a pleasure to be on the show, brother.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. We're going to hit it real quick and give the people some very interesting information. Quite naturally, today is May 4th. So quite naturally, we've already kind of got past some deadlines. So we're going to be talking about tax deadlines and also extension deadlines. So we're going to be looking at some real key dates that we're going to go ahead and put up on the screen real quick, because it's very, very important to make sure that we actually look at these. So let's go ahead and look at what are the key dates for 2024 filing season. So we see right here highlighted in blue, April the 15th. That's the due date of filing your tax return or to request an extension for most people. So April 15th already came, it's already gone. We're past that. April the 17th is the next one that we look at here. And so when we see here, April the 17th, this was also a due date for those individuals in Maine and Massachusetts. So these two states had until April 17th. Again, already came, already gone. Now, what are we looking at? What's remaining? So when we look at what's remaining, we're talking about the October 15th due date for filing an extension. So for those individual filers, if you had not filed by the 15th or in the 17th of April, then you should have filed an extension. And so, Corey, quite naturally, a lot of people out there may have forgot to file their taxes on time. They may have forgot to file an extension. Do you think the IRS gonna cut them any slack because they forgot?
I'll say again, hands up, freeze, because you're about to be in trouble, and you're about to go to solitary confinement for not paying your taxes. No, I think it's something that we just need to be aware of. We be aware of. And it's financial responsibility. Item number one is making sure you know those deadlines because they're very important. Uh, even
Absolutely.
for individuals like us, like we're have exemptions going on, it's still important to file those taxes because if you want to go buy a house, if you want to acquire any type of real estate, anything like that, you have to show record of you filing your taxes. And if you're exempt, it will show you a record of being exempt for that filing year. So I'm always on filing the taxes, even though I'm exempt. I'll still go ahead and file my taxes anyway. So I just want to put full responsibility in knowing those two important dates of filing before those deadlines, Priya.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we want to give the people the right information. So we're taking it directly from the IRS website. And so failure to file, how do you know that you're going to be penalized if you fail to file? So if you fail to file or you fail to file an extension, then most likely you'll file into the category where you have to have a penalty. And so this is how the IRS calculates the penalty. So the failure to file penalty is 5% of the unpaid taxes for each and every single month or a part of a month that is late. So I want to make sure everybody get that right. So the failure to file penalty is 5% of the unpaid taxes if you owe taxes for each month. So this is a monthly thing. Or either you also will pay for part of a month that the tax return is late. So make sure if you owe the IRS taxes, if you owe them money and you fail to file, or you fail to file an extension by the 15th or the 17th of April, you go ahead and handle your business, because
Mm.
you can end up having a failure to file penalty as well as a failure to pay penalty. And both are applied in the same month. So we want to go ahead and touch on that real quick. What does it look like when we're talking about failure to pay penalty? What does that mean when we're talking about you fail to pay? So again, looking at the IRS's website, we understand that when you fail to pay, they calculate the failure to pay penalty based on how long your overdue taxes remain unpaid. So we've highlighted it here on the screen for you. The IRS calculates the failure to pay penalty based on how long your overdue taxes remain unpaid. Now, unpaid tax, as said here, is the total tax required to be shown on your return minus any amounts paid through withholding or estimated tax payments and allowed credits. The failure to pay penalty will not exceed 25% of your unpaid taxes. And so they give you a couple of links here. This is how you calculate the failure to pay penalty. And so you want to make sure, you take a look at those links, and you also jump down here. If you don't pay the amount shown as tax that you owe on your return, then the IRS, it says we, but the IRS, because this is their website, calculates the failure to pay penalty in this way. So they calculate this as a 0.5%. So there's 0.5% of the unpaid taxes for each month are part of the month. The penalty will not exceed 25%. So this is what's highlighted on the screen. Is very, very important. And I know, Corey, if you're anything like me, you don't want to owe the IRS money, and you don't want to give away your hard-earned money in penalties and unnecessary interest to the IRS, because not only do they charge penalty, but they also charge interest.
Exactly. Just want to make sure that you, like, say again, once again, stay on those dates and mark your calendars. So this is the year of getting organized for me. So I tend to use my calendar a lot more, making sure that you're trying to organize yourself and try to do and try to become a minimalist when it comes to your finances. So you know where your finances are going. Where you go every single dollar, every single cent is going. It's time that we embark on financial behavior, practicing of good financial behaviors, and one of those is putting tax at the forefront. As Brianna said many times, business ownership is the biggest caveat to being able to acquire and get those advantages when it comes to that. But you must know, if you can't take care of the small things, then when it comes to bigger responsibilities, you're never going to be able to handle those in the first place. So we just want to make sure we are being responsible for our dates and our times, and making sure that we use our time wisely and time management and everything like that to build a great foundation to financial illiteracy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You definitely want to stay on top of these dates. And when I tell you, it's so important, because if you fail to pay, and if you fail to file, you start racking up a lot of penalties and a lot of interest unnecessarily that you have to pay. And the IRS have a number of ways to get you to pay. They have a number of ways. They can put liens, they can assess liens against certain things, whether those are assets that you have. The IRS can garnish your wages. The IRS can also put you in jail. They can imprison you for certain tax penalties and crimes. So make sure you're taking this very seriously. If you did not file a return by April the 15th, or if you did not file an extension by April the 15th, and if you live in Maine or Massachusetts, by April the 17th, you didn't file your return, or you didn't file an extension by the 17th, then get with your CPA, get with your tax professional immediately. Don't wait, don't delay. Go ahead and get that taken care of, because I can promise you, if the IRS owe you money, they may delay, but you cannot
Mm-hmm.
delay. You don't have that luxury to delay in paying them money. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
assess it from the first day that is eligible to be paid to them. And so you can get yourself in a lot of trouble that it's going to be tough to get out of. It's going to be costly to get out of. It is a way you can
Mm-hmm.
prevent that by going ahead and taking actions now. So wanted to
Right.
make sure we touched on that. Very, very important. Again, when we look at those filing dates, I just want to bring it back to the screen just to let everybody know that 6 month extension is very, very important when we're looking at individuals. So, Corey, we're going to go ahead and hop on over and look at businesses. So, we're going to look at
Mm-hmm.
partnerships. So, in partnerships, you file a form 1065. That's your Schedule K. This form is due on the 15th day of the third month, as you all see here on the screen, after the end of the partnership's tax year. So, if your partnership's tax year ended, like most of us ended, on December the 31st of 2023, then your form 1065 is due by March the 15th. So this is different for partnerships, got me? It's totally different than individuals. So this one is actually due on March the 15th. Now, if you didn't file it, then you need to take a separate action. And what's that action? You need to fill out a form 7004, and that is used to request an automatic 6 month extension. So that'll give you
Mm-hmm.
6 months of time to be extended all the way down to September. And this is for partnerships. Now, when you look at corporations, I want to show you all this. It's totally different. So, again,
Mm-hmm.
corporations and partnerships are different. This form for corporations, this is your 1120 form, it is due on the 15th day of the fourth month after the corporation's tax year. So the corporation's tax year ended December 31st of 2023. Now form 1120 is due by April the 15th. So want to make
Beyond,
sure you get that. Now, go ahead.
I wanted to tap in real quick and ask you. Okay, we have that one person way in the back there. You can't even see them. Way in the back. They so far in the back you can't really hear the question. But I'm gonna go ahead and give you the question: is what can I do if I forget to pay my taxes for the year? I just want to know. Asking for the people in the back. That's all I want to know.
Got you. So anyone that's forgotten to pay their taxes, quite naturally, you're going to be assessed a failure to pay penalty, and you're also going to be assessed interest on that, and then you're also going to be assessed, um, a second time, not for just failure to pay, failure to file. So you're going to have two failure penalties, and then you're going to have two separate sets of interest. So the first thing I recommend, if you're in that situation, get your CPA. Get your CPA, somebody who can handle calculating up the amount that you have due, so you can start rectifying that situation immediately, because it doesn't go away. I can promise you it only gets larger. Every single day, the IRS is adding more penalty and more interest, and that's compounding on top of the amount that you already owed. And
Mm-hmm.
so, if you don't owe and it's been over a year, you still want to go ahead and take things in an urgent and basically, you know, take it with a sense of urgency and move timely so that you can get those matters cleared up. You want to do that as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So same
Right.
here. If you're looking at form 1120 S, this is basically looking at, you know again, with your corporation, you have different forms you have to file. And that's why I want you all to understand, we're not trying to make you experts in taxes. We're giving you
Mm-hmm.
enough awareness to make sure you know what's due, what's applicable to you, and when. And so what we want to tell you is there's a separation between corporations and S corps. So 1120S, this form is going to be due on the 15th day of the third month after the end of the corporation's tax year. So your form 1120S is going to be due March the 15th. And this is going to be the same as the partnerships, as well as the corporations, and the same for the S corps. So if you need to file an extension, you can file an extension, and you have the same amount of time, which is 6 months, using form 7004. So make sure you get on top of your business to file these forms 7004 if you have not filed your partnership, corporation, or S corp. Want to go ahead and cap that off. Now, again, the same thing for individuals will happen for businesses. If you hadn't made those tax payments, then your business will be assessed a penalty, a failure to file penalty, and a failure to pay with interest. And the IRS is serious about their money. So, wanted to go ahead and hit you out with that really quick. Wanted to go ahead and drop that on you. I know it's a lot, it's really quick, but I wanted to have this up on the screen share so you all can see the websites. This is directly from the IRS. You'll be able to take these links and go back. And if you need to do more study and more research, please, by all means, go back to the IRS's website. These sites that we've shared with you this morning, that you can go back and do some research and some additional homework. So, what you think about that in general, Corey? How you feeling? Just making sure the IRS ain't playing with folks. They want to get
Yeah.
their money just like everybody else want to get their money too.
Well, for a second, I found myself in the back of a police car, out looking, my freedom being taken away from me. But you give me a little more hope now, for the people in the back. I'm just joking. But yeah, I wanted to tap into that. Good information, good knowledge of that. But I want to tap in and give you a little bit of a statistic when it comes to, it says income tax share. This comes from the National Taxpayer Union Foundation
Okay.
website, and I just kind of tapped in with it, and it was basically, I was interested to see what percentage of us, they don't classify us as people here, they classify us as a percentage. So with that being said, 50%, the 50%, that means the bottom 50% of a whole human race, when it comes to Americans, pay about 2.3% in taxes. And then it says the top 25 to 50% pays 8.4% in taxes. Then we have the top the 25, I'm sorry, the 10 to 25% pays about 13.4%. We have 5 to 10%. The top 5 to 10% pays 10.2%. And then we have the top 1 to 5% pays about 19.9%. And then the top 1%, which we know everybody knows about the top 1%, we always want to know, are they paying taxes? They pay about 45.8% taxes. And this money, this is not, we're not talking about business here. We're just talking about personal. We're talking about people who have, regular,
Yeah.
regular people like us, they're not business owners, let's say. But we are business owners. I'm just saying people who are not, that's a percentage of people who actually pay taxes. I just want to give that little stat to get people get their mind around who's paying taxes, who's not paying taxes, which is really important. And as the government in the United States keeps pushing for people who are top 1% to pay more taxes, but there are different ways, and there's caveats, and there's loopholes that we can use to be able to write those tax write-offs off, and really be able to find different advantages to paying taxes. And as we know, Machine Gun Breon has all those stats when it comes to those those real edgy ways and more advantages to file your taxes and get more points on your taxes. But just little tidbits of information that you can get from Breon, and then Breon, I'm grateful to get information and knowledge from you, but when it comes to the subject, especially when it comes to taxes.
Absolutely. I think, taxes is something we all need to be aware of. It's going to be our most significant expense, our largest expense over our lifetime. And so whether we like it or not, whether we're comfortable with it or not, we should get comfortable with it. Not saying that we have to be experts in taxes, but we at least need to have enough foundational knowledge, enough awareness so that we can have understanding, so that we keep ourselves out of bad situations. And quite naturally, we can still hire people that can be CPAs, attorney, tax attorneys, etc. But how often have you, heard about CPAs or tax attorneys not doing the right thing on behalf of an individual? Now this individual is facing a large amount of money they have to pay, or they're facing prison time due to not paying taxes. So everybody, it's time to wake up. It's time to start paying attention to your money, and taxes is one of the largest part of paying attention to your money. So we want to open it up at this time. We want to see who all is out there. If there's any questions about anything that we've covered this morning, or anything in general, when it comes to taxes that we want to be able to request. So I see that we have a lot of different folks here in the house. We have Saudi Arabia tuning in, so definitely appreciate Saudi Arabia. I see we have Arkansas in the building, also with us this morning. But definitely, folks, I want you all to understand something. Please, by all means, if you have a question, if you have a concern, get in contact with our team. Send us a message on Instagram, send us a message on Facebook, send us a message, drop us a comment on YouTube. We are here to give you sound tax advice. If we don't know, we won't give you the advice, we won't give you the information. And all of our information is referenced by the IRS website. So it's not our information per se. We're passing along information to you that you may not know where to go and get it. So any questions that we want to, touch on? I see a question here that says, can I file an amended return for a 1040 that's been filed electronically? Absolutely. So if your return has been filed within the last 3 years and it was filed either electronically or via a paper return, absolutely you can file an amended return. And that amended return allows you to correct any inaccuracies or any mistakes that may have been made in that return. So yes, you can.
Hmm.
Great question. Any more questions before we get out of here? We wanted to keep it short and sweet this morning, so we're going to try to, answer a lot more questions as much as we can. So, will the IRS answer my tax questions? So, the IRS will only answer your questions in the form of frequently asked questions. So, the IRS on their site, there's something that's called frequently asked questions that the IRS answers. And so, if you call the IRS, they will not answer your questions. It will be considered as tax guidance. So, they will not answer your questions. But if you go to their website, the IRS has a number of resources, whereas they are pointing you in the right direction according to the IRS code. So the code actually answers your questions. But if you try to call them or even try to write them or email them, they will not answer your questions. It will be considered as tax guidance or tax advice. And the IRS absolutely does not do that. They don't provide that for you. You have to have a CPA, you have to have a tax attorney, a tax professional to answer your questions and give you guidance. All right, we're gonna take one more question, then we're gonna get out of here. Um, can you explain the IRS Fresh Start? I'm not familiar with the Fresh Start. Let me see if I can look this up really quick while we're here to see what is the IRS Fresh Start, because I'm not familiar with that. Give me 1 second. Okay, so it says the IRS Fresh Start program is a set of tax relief initiatives that's offered by the IRS to people who are struggling to pay their taxes. These initiatives include payment plans, streamlined procedures for filing their taxes, and more. So if you owe taxes and you're struggling to pay the IRS, then the IRS Fresh Start program may help you. And this is really good, actually, really good question. Um, I want to just go a little bit more into it because I wasn't aware of this program. So the IRS basically says you have options to resolve your tax bill. And if you can pay part of your balance, they have options for you that includes pay over time. They also have an offer and compromise, and this lets you settle your tax debt for less than you owe. And so, again, there's a number of initiatives under this. If you cannot pay anything on your tax bill, they allow you to delay collection. So there's a lot of things here. I want to dive into it and get more familiar with it. but I will put this up on the screen just to share it with you all, simply because the question came up. And so it's a really good question. And again, as we always say, if we don't know something, we're going to give you the right advice. So let me put this up on the screen real quick. So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about the Fresh Start program. So you're receiving help with your tax debt. And so there are a number of alternatives that they offer you here that you all can see on the screen. So take a look at the link that's up here, and make sure you go to the link up here, and this will actually help you. This will actually help you be able to get the necessary solutions that you need. And we're going to talk about this in our next Tax Talk Live. I'm going to get more familiar with it so we can speak about it in our next live next Saturday. So very good questions. Thank you all for the questions. I really appreciate that. Definitely want to get back to thanking you as well, Corey, for just tuning in, being a part of the show, and thank you all as well for tuning in with us every single Saturday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll see you back again next week, same time, same place, 8 a.m. Until next time, see you all.